Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, man?
Oh, doing all right. Just had a little bit of a snafu there at the beginning. Had to restart the live.
Yeah, technical difficulties on your side this time. Usually it's me.
It was 100% operator error.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Um, I had actually forgotten to select the universal page for Facebook.
Okay. That's why it wasn't coming up because I was on the Facebook page and looking and seeing,
Yeah.
sharing it to a buddy of mine who we talked the other day. Um, who saw we were talking about other things and wrestling came up and all that. So how's your couple weeks been?
It's been really hectic. I had an appointment with my lawyer on Tuesday. I have a deposition to go through on Wednesday. So had to
Just
spend
a little wreck.
had to spend a little bit of time with him to get an understanding of what to expect on it.
Right.
Um, he said that it could take all day because I've got lawyers from five different companies that are going to be coming in to ask me a bunch of questions. So he said that they will probably ask you a whole bunch of different questions multiple times.
Yep. Try to get you to change stories and this and that. Just yeah.
Yeah, so that's not going to be very fun. Much rather be doing different things than having to deal with that. But
Nigel, what's going on, buddy? How are you, man?
hey, Nigel, but it's something that's got to be done. With the whole
Yeah,
lawsuit and everything, I got to have that deposition. So
yeah,
the sooner I can get it done, the better.
yeah.
How about you?
Uh, we talked briefly on before we got on air. Other than that, just the usual busy stuff. We got a winter storm coming this way, and there's that crazy nonsense.
Here comes this flashing light again.
Uh,
If you look on if you look, do you have a fan in that room?
I got one way up high, but it ain't on.
It is not on. Okay, because every now and then, if you look at the edge of your screen, it almost looks like you got something coming down,
I see.
like
I
what
think
you normally see on TV.
it's it's probably this cheap camera. It's a TikTok or not TikTok. It's a Timu
TikTok's on
Timu camera.
everybody's mind today.
Yeah, they went down last night, and people were going nuts and like it's not that big a deal. We were talking about it earlier, and it's like I don't get on TikTok much. Here late, and other people don't get on it. They got it, but it's like Facebook. I haven't really been on Facebook a whole lot, posting anything in probably 6 months. It's just I don't know, just one of those things. It's just I'll scroll through it, but I really won't post anything. Uh,
I post every once in a while. I've got three profiles: myself, one for Things Network, and one for Lucy, my dog. Um,
Well, I've got one Southern Paranormal, which I have not posted anything on that in a long time. There's other people that post on there all the time. Uh, we've got the uh, Universal Wrestling Network. I've got my class one. I've got my personal one. I've got another group from my class. I mean, I got 5 or 6 different pages. Groups. involved. But other than my class stuff, that's about the only thing I've been posting here lately. Really haven't been posting much on the paranormal. It's just, um, I don't know, it's just a lot of negativity stuff I see a lot. I just don't want to be involved in all of it. I did see where Bear from Octagon Hall had passed away uh,
Saw that.
last week. Our condolences to Beth Allen and the family and all of Bear. I know he was a good guy. We met him one time when we were out there for that Paracon.
There was another death in the community. Dave Taylor. He was a podcast host as well, not on this network, but he had his own thing. I think he actually had an actual radio show. He definitely had the voice for it because I've seen some of his work, but I only knew of him because of Greg Bakken, because they did a lot of shows together over the years. Um, and then nothing that I've heard for the past month and a half from the Conjuring House. Um, that that's been a cluster of a story from day one.
Yeah, I've been reading a little bit. I mean, I saw posts here and there from different individuals, and it's like, you know, I see, the majority side of it with, against the owner and all that. But, it's something that's been in the community for a while. People that have these venues and all, they charge this outrageous amount of money for uh, these spots, and it's very expensive to go to a lot of places now. It has been for a while.
Yeah,
That's why when we did the jail and we had the funeral home, we wanted to run it like we were renting the place. Be very accommodating to the uh, groups that come in to want to investigate the place. So we ran it a little bit differently, I think, than a lot of people did.
yeah, you'll find quite a few that are um, very reasonably priced, and there are others they it's so high that it makes you wonder: are they doing this because they don't want people there? But there are some places like the Ohio Reformatory.
Hmm.
That's $1,500 for up to 10 people. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no. Um, how
that
much
sounds
was
about right. That sounds about right. 12, around 12, because Trans Allegheny is like that. Trans Allegheny is very expensive. I would love to go back there, but it's just too high,
it? Yeah.
too expensive.
And the
Um,
thing is, there are a lot of people that are willing to spend those prices, but somebody like me, I have to watch every dollar that I've got.
well, I think for one of those big places that you have like that, you have. Hey Ray, that's the guy I texted a while ago. We're talking about paranormal stuff right now. But,
Cool.
uh,
We'll eventually get to wrestling.
yeah.
Just bear with us for.
Uh, the problem with the big venues, big places that are charging $1,200, $1,500 a month, you got to get a bunch of investigators together in order to afford the place. Therefore, having too big of a group to actually do a good investigation without having a bunch of contamination. And if you don't get the right people that are going with you, you're going to have issues. You're going to have a bunch of drama and nonsense. So it's, one of those things I have to not deal with. Um, like my little group of family. And that's not to say I don't enjoy going to like Paragons and things like that and seeing the rest of our extended family. A lot of them that are in things. Um,
Little ring
and
on the side.
yeah, um, you know, met a lot of great people face to face when we did that Kansas Paracon. Um,
That from a vendor's point of view, that was fun.
yeah,
That was fun. Um,
the investigation part was okay, but it was more about that camaraderie and meeting all these people that we've talked to over text and Facebook for a number of years, and actually put my face to everybody. So man, I really enjoyed it. It's like almost like a family reunion type thing.
yeah, pretty much. From a staff member's point of view, it was a nightmare. Um, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah,
We've spoken about that
many
so
times.
many different times. But I would like to have something like that, only a lot less hectic and better planned.
Well, you'd have to get somewhere that's universally localized, where everybody has about the same amount of time driving to. Plus, you need a place to do it, and it would be nice to have a place to investigate. You
Well,
know, very.
Was Kansas was actually almost like a central point for most people, I think. Um, I had 12-hour drive to get there, and I think I was actually one with the lesser amount of times to get there. I think you guys took 16 hours, 18 hours.
Yeah, about anywhere from 12 to 16 hour drive.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but you know,
And then tomorrow is going to be the big day, inauguration day.
yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. It, a
I think
lot of
all of us
people,
could be inside now
yeah. Uh,
with the weather.
like here, it's supposed to be a high of like 6.
Ours is like 12 to 14, 16, something like that. I got class tomorrow night. I got my heater on already. Uh,
And they said they're supposed to have a record cold day. And from what I read, it's not the first time that inauguration is going to take place indoors. They did
they
the,
did that
the
with
inauguration
Reagan.
of Reagan.
hmm
So
Reagan was the last time they did the indoor inauguration. You know,
yeah, so it's going to be curious, and I'm also kind of concerned because there was I don't even know who it was, but he was up in the press conference um, where that press secretary is normally speaking to the people, and she's always having these smart comebacks, like treating the reporters like they're stupid, which you know they may be, honestly.
some are.
Yeah. Uh, but he was saying that hopefully this will be the last time he will be up here speaking to everybody, because even though inauguration's only 4 days away or 5 days or whatever it was, anything can still happen. And it kind of made me wonder, okay, does somebody on the Democratic side have some sort of a plan? And so I'm,
I don't think so. He may be wound up. This may be he may be changing jobs or something. Who knows?
yeah, but the thing is, he said hopefully it's the last time because is a part of the Biden team, and it's almost like he's kind of hinting that, hey, there's a possibility Trump may not actually be taking office, it because he backstepped a little bit on what he was saying. So I'm wondering if he just accidentally let something out of the bag that was supposed to be super top secret.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I can.
You talk about you thought six was chaos.
Huh?
You thought January 6th was chaos. Let them try pull some junk.
Yeah. No. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right.
Either way, there's going to be a lot of people happy and a lot of people unhappy. So there is no happy medium.
No, and it hadn't been like that for three presidents now.
Yeah, but I've never seen it this bad before.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on
Yeah,
to
for wrestling.
the fun topics.
The reason we
Uh,
watch the reason we watch wrestling is to forget about all the other nonsense that's in the world.
yes, especially since we actually have a former governor who's going to be a part of the event, Saturday night's main event, 37 next week. It will be at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio, Texas. So the weather will be a little bit warmer down there. Um, as of right now, three matches are announced. The main event is Gunther defending the world championship against Jey Uso. Then they have Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. And then
Turn that down right now.
wow, you used to have the Roman Reigns theme on there.
I did. I got every once in a while I change it. It's about time to change it. I
Okay.
had Roman Reigns. I had Cody for a while. I had a Striper song. I got another one, another Striper song. So
Okay. And then we also have Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu.
I see Jacob winning that one. Um, the Gunther and Uso, Jay. Um, I see. I would really like Jay to win it.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Uh, Maybe it's time for Gunther to. I don't think he'll lose it and not be back in the picture again. Um,
I think Gunther is one of those guys who will always be in the picture.
yeah, I can see him. I can see Jay winning going into the Rumble. Um, that'd be monumental for him.
So
Uh,
if Jay wins, that would effectively take him out of the Rumble.
yeah. They've had champions in the Rumble before.
They have um, rarely.
Well,
It's rare that they have
oh,
the world champion in the Rumble. Brock Lesnar did it.
hmm
Roman Reigns defended in the Rumble match. Charlotte Flair was champion when she went in. And the reason that she went into the Rumble is because she didn't like not having a match on the card at all. So she's like, you know what?
she
I'm
threw
going.
herself in there.
Yeah. Um, but before that, the only there were two other times that the world champion was in the Rumble, and that was at the very beginning. Randy Savage was in '89, and then Hogan was in '90. Otherwise, the world title had been defended on the undercard every year.
Mhm.
So speaking of the Rumble, for the men's we have 8 names announced, 8 big names: LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Rey Mysterio. And for the women's match, only Nia Jax is announced.
Yeah, I can see her jumping in there. I don't know about the women's. There's so much going on with the women's title and or both of them and going back and forth. I don't really know who to pull or who's going to wind up winning the Rumble. Um, on the
Well,
men's
I
side
have
of
been
it, I
saying
see.
that I see Michin winning, and who else did I say? Liv Morgan. No, no, she was the champion when I can't remember who else. I had 2 names that I
What
was.
if Liv wins and goes after Tiffany?
No, I don't think Tiffany was the other name that I was thinking.
Yeah, Nia Jax. Yeah, we had discussions with her. We had discussion with her on that last episode with her chair shots in that uh,
Oh
Survivor Series match.
yeah,
It was
that was.
it was horrible. It's like one extreme to the next. Either she's reckless or she's like, just like I don't know, babying everybody. And I see, she's caught a lot of flack over the years of being reckless and injuring people.
She did,
Um,
but it seems like it that she has really gone out of her way to be safer for the most part, um, with the exception of when she does the Annihilator.
yeah, I can't see how that doesn't hurt somebody.
Now, especially the one that she did for Queen of the Ring when she jumped down on Lyra.
Hmm.
That had to hurt. Speaking of Lyra Valkyra, she is the first ever women's Intercontinental Champion, and Chelsea Green is the first ever women's United States Champion. So I'm curious to see how things are going to go because the women's roster isn't nearly as deep as the men's roster.
Guess what? I lost
The
you.
Yeah, I heard some kind of rumbling going on your end. The women's roster is not as deep as the men's roster. So
No, you've got a few people out from injury. Uh, I see Flair coming back during the Rumble.
they've actually on Friday night aired a vignette where she's getting ready to come back.
Um, I wonder where Alexa Bliss is at. I'm waiting for her to come back.
She's waiting to come
I
back.
I did see. I know whether it's true or not. I didn't really dig into it, but I saw where Becky Lynch had resigned.
Yes, um,
Um,
and I'm pretty sure that that's true because otherwise there's no way she would have been featured in the commercials for Raw moving to Netflix, and she would not have been at the uh, like a press conference that they had when they were taking a whole bunch of pictures. She was there. I'm pretty sure she would not have been involved in that if she had not resigned with them.
Well, I made she'll pop in there at the Royal Rumble. Um,
Now I'm looking for Becky, Charlotte, and Alexa to make their returns in the Rumble.
I'm hoping that so Ruka finally comes over to the main roster.
Yes. Oh,
I'm
she is.
so on her to hit.
She is
Uh,
so exciting to watch.
if you don't if you don't know who we're talking about, you've got to go on YouTube and look at some videos. The Soul Snatcher. That is a that is a phenomenal finishing move, and it comes out of nowhere.
It does. And then on the last NXT event where she did the double soul snatcher on two of them.
She did one off of a ladder. That was
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, she's very exciting to watch. So I can see her being moved up real quick.
And with the way the women's division is, it's kind of not as um, deep as the men's. I mean, it'd be perfect time to bring her in. You put her in there, and you've got she could go with she can make a title run for any of the singles titles that they've
Oh
got.
yeah, absolutely. I I would like to see her and Io Sky in a match.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be a that'd be a really exciting match. Um, I fully expect to see her in the Rumble this year. If not, I would be very disappointed.
Yeah, I think she'll be there. Uh, so we got Saturday Night's Main Event coming up this Saturday next week,
Yep,
and then the week after that we've got the Royal Rumble.
that's
Um,
correct.
is that Saturday or Sunday? The Rumble.
Saturday.
Uh, so
I
24th.
know I'll be able to watch. I'll be able to watch the Rumble.
And you said it is Saturday, the first.
Saturday the first is the Rumble,
Okay.
and then Saturday the 25th is Saturday night's main event.
Okay. I get to watch
That
both of
one
those.
I will not be able to watch live because I will be doing a residential investigation that night.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to catch it on the replay. Why the tag team champions have lost its luster? Well,
There's not that many tag teams uh, in there anymore. It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s where you had 10, 12 tag teams in there.
yeah. So there is that, um, and also because the men's roster is so deep that you don't see the tag team champions that much anymore. I know
You
the
don't.
War Raiders are the Raw tag team champions. Uh, I don't even remember who the SmackDown champions are. I gotta look it up.
It
That
was a big deal whenever Bloodline had everything, and then when they got split up, it's like
yeah,
okay, we split them
D-
up, and now we're not doing anything with them.
yeah. DIY is the SmackDown tag team champions.
Well,
So
you got
we have two legitimate tag teams that are the champions. So we have that.
New Day that's kind of taking a turn to the heel side.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, did you?
Now it was time, and they may like it. It's like we've been doing the same thing for many years now. Let's kind of go to the dark side and you know have
And
some fun being
fans
the
are not
bad guys.
having it.
Huh?
The fans are not having it. They are giving them the Dominic heat.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. Um, Women's tag team champions are Bianca Belair and Naomi. The women's championship has does not have a good history. This is the second time that um, a champion got hurt and somebody stepped in to become the new champion.
They've done that for years in different organizations. They did it back in Mid South days. Um, so it's not an uncommon thing as far as in the wrestling business. It's just, um,
Yeah, they never did that in WWE before.
no.
Not till last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's, excuse me. I don't know. They need to get some good writing together and start pushing these tag teams back in the storyline because you have WrestleMania coming up.
Yeah.
Um,
When they had those four corners tag team matches last year, you remember those?
yeah, I'm listening.
Do
Got a
you
wi- I got I got a Wi-Fi issue going on in my little corner here, and
Oh, really?
trying to fix it.
Well, your video and audio is fine on my end.
Yeah, it went down to like single bar.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know why.
Could it be because of the storm that's coming up on you?
Now, I mean, I don't think so because I mean it's there's nothing. I mean it's crystal clear outside
Okay.
right now, and the router is like right next to the computer. So I mean it's not like it can't reach it.
So something that they need to do as far as the tag team division goes is they need to stop splitting up the teams. Um,
Like,
at one time, it seemed like there was somebody turning on someone else once a month, and they are destroying the tag teams. Um, and then at other times, it just seemed like they were putting random people together. Like right now, I am looking at. Um, let's see. This is the SmackDown tag teams. So it would go from New Day to the Revival, back to New Day to Miz and Morrison, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Where did they come from?
that not they don't even fit.
No. And then you would have Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Uh, then Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso. Oh, come on. Now they have been having legitimate tag teams lately. DIY, those two guys have been together forever. The Motor City Machine Guns. No, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, Ray.
yeah,
Back in the day, we had Legion of Doom, Natural Disasters, the Rockers, the Bushwhackers, the Nasty Boys, the Heart Foundation.
you had tag teams that had that charisma together, and
Yes.
whether they're heel or fan favorites, that you got into their characters and all, and you don't have that now. It's just like these two random guys are going to throw together for a little while. And we're not really doing anything with them.
Random exception, Sheamus and Cesaro. They worked really well together. And I just loved how they got together, how they were fighting each other. I think it was like a best of seven series or something like that, and they came up to a draw on that last match. So Mick Foley said, "Okay, you two are going to be a tag team now," and they they fought each other until eventually you fight, you fight, you fight, and then you start meshing. And holy cow, they were a great tag team. Um,
Here's one to throw out: a tag team that I don't think they'll do it right now because he just popped in. But if you had Penta and Rey Mysterio as a tag team,
oh no, those two guys couldn't be any more opposite.
what? No way. No way.
Uh, let's
Two high flying luchadors?
let's see here. I'm now looking at the Raw tag teams. They had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable one time. Uh, Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Robert Roode is off Ziggler again. Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. Come on. AJ Styles and Omos. Then they also had Randy Orton and Matt Riddle.
Give us.
Eventually, those two did kind of sort of work, but and
It,
then I find out that they became great friends in real life.
wait
But
a,
Randy was very hesitant about him in actual real life.
well, what you have right now is single wrestlers they try to throw together as a tag team instead of having a true tag team. Now, you do have some exceptions. Uh, you got a couple groups there that are, billed as tag teams. But, like we were talking earlier, like back in the 80s and 90s, you had all these guys, they were tag team practitioners. That's what they were.
But look at Ted DiBiase and IRS. Um, both were singles wrestlers, and then I don't even know how they got well. I can see why they put them together because they were both money based characters.
Hmm.
Um, but they ended up working to where they were among the greatest tag teams ever.
Tyler,
I am looking forward. I've seen clips of Penta wrestling when he came in against Gable. Um, I know
there was
that.
a there was a few little miscues here and there.
What was there?
Yeah, there was a couple mess ups here and there during that match. It seemed like timing was off. I think more than anything on a couple moves.
Do you think that could be from a language barrier?
Possibly, possibly.
Uh, let's see. Is Penta actually okay? Yeah, he was born and raised in Mexico. So
Oh, he was. I mean, during after the match was all over, he come out and or he stayed in the ring and was talking, and I mean, it was more Spanish than it was English.
yeah, I did catch that. Um,
Who
but
is Ray
it,
Phoenix?
Rafe, um, that's actually Penta's brother, and he is in the
Okay.
well, both of them with the AEW. Um, they came in at the same time, but Ray ended up getting hurt, so they added time on his contract. So that's why Penta is out while he's still there. But the way that what I'm reading is He's still under contract for just a short amount of time left, but they've already taken all of his merchandise and everything off the website and everything.
You talking about Ray?
Yes. Penta, they, WWE started selling his stuff before he even made his debut.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like,
kind of hard to have a secret when you're selling somebody's shit online.
well, the from the clips that I saw, Michael Cole himself said it was the worst kept secret that Penta was coming over here. Um,
When you got people in the crowd that's already got signs hanging up, holding signs up.
yeah. Well, they could have passed those signs out to those people too. I heard that they have done things like that.
I would like to, going, and I kind of switching gears here. We're talking about the Rumble and stuff. The Rumble coming up, I like not knowing who's in the Rumble. I know you like that too. Uh,
I want them to. I want 1 year, just 1 year, go into the Rumble and nobody is announced.
I don't mind one or two, but I don't know. I don't want to know the order.
Yeah, I don't want
You
to
know,
know anybody. Surprise me every time. Surprise me.
well, there's no surprise. Cena's going to be there, and I figure Cena's going to wind up winning it.
Yeah. The latest that I read is that they are looking at John and Cody for WrestleMania. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. John wants his last everything this year,
Hmm.
including Elimination Chamber. So if he wins the Rumble this year, then what reason would he have to go into the Chamber?
I don't know unless he decides that WrestleMania is going to be it.
Yeah,
If it were me and if I was in his position in retirement, yeah, I would. WrestleMania would be it. There's no other big. There's nothing bigger in the world of wrestling than that.
right.
You're not. Uh,
But I can also see Cena winning the Rumble because one, that would make him tie for most Rumble wins with Steve Austin. And if you ask me, he deserves it. And two, that would make him the first person to win a Rumble in three different decades. Because he won the one in '08, then he won in 13. So why not win 25?
what was his last WrestleMania match? Was it Taker?
Huh?
What was his last WrestleMania match that he's been in? Was that him and Undertaker?
No, his last WrestleMania match, I think, was Bray.
Cena?
No, Bray Wyatt. Yeah,
No,
Cena.
really.
I think that was his last. Oh, I'll double check. Okay, so WrestleMania 36 was Bray Wyatt. Because it was the year before, I think, that he wrestled Undertaker. Uh, oh no! He wrestled 2 years ago against Austin Theory.
Okay.
I forgot about, yeah, because he opened WrestleMania. He opened WrestleMania with Theory. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That just shows you how memorable Austin Theory is to me. But with that said, I saw an interview that he did with Chris Van Vliet, and my opinion of Austin Theory has actually changed because the way that he carried himself in that interview and everything, he was incredibly down to earth. Um, Actually made him a likable personality to me. And then when Grayson Waller was on Chris Van Vliet, he did not change a thing about him. He has a huge ego, but yet he is so entertaining out there, especially when he's doing his Grayson Waller effect. Um, Match that I'm looking forward to for Saturday night's main event is Strowman and Fatu. Uh,
That's two big guys. Two big guys in the ring
and
that
two,
can move.
yes, they can move. They are fast. Um, and the first time they did a stare down inside the ring, the fans were just jumping. They were extremely excited. So I'm looking forward to seeing that match. Um, Gunther and Jay, I think it's a safe bet how what that outcome is going to be.
You think Jay's gonna wind up winning it?
No,
No.
no. If he wins, he would have to pull out of the Rumble. But I don't see Gunther losing the title on that stage. I don't see it happening.
Well, you got to look at what they did with Rhea and Liv. I wouldn't think they would have titles change on Raw or at Saturday Night's main event, but they did on there.
Speaking of Rhea and Liv, wasn't that supposed to be a last woman standing match?
I don't remember. Um, Now the Raw the other night had a last man standing, or was it a street fight?
They had a street fight,
That was Damien.
and then
Yeah, it was a street fight. Now I will tell you this: just watching that, that was pay per view quality.
yeah,
Um, I actually get to watch Raw now. It's on Netflix. And the good thing about it is I don't have to watch it when it's on. I can watch it as a replay. So it helps out a great deal. Um, but I mean, that was a good match. A good match all the way around.
I can't wait until next year when everything goes to Netflix. Then I can cancel Peacock, get Netflix. I can be able to watch everything. Finally,
You could do it now.
I don't want to spend the extra money. I could do it now, but I just don't want to spend the extra money. But for the last couple of years, I hadn't been able to watch Raw or SmackDown anyway.
That's true.
So, so what's one more year going to do?
Yeah, I don't watch SmackDown unless I'm at work. So I understand.
Yeah, that's the bad thing for me too, is because SmackDown comes on at 8 o'clock, and my 13th Dimension show, when I do it, is at 8 o'clock. So, yeah. But at least with it being on Netflix, I can be able to watch it afterwards.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
one thing I
is,
like.
yeah, there is that. Um, Speaking of Raw on Netflix, there was an incident that I don't necessarily agree with. I get why it happened, but that doesn't mean I agree with it. Um, and that was the fans booing the shit out of Hulk Hogan.
They were talking about it. It was all over social media talking about it because it was because of racial stuff. It was because he backed Trump, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it could be. I think of where it's at. I really, and people were saying no, it's not because of Trump. Because Taker and Kane backed Trump. I said, but you got to put this in perspective of the age of the fans, the connection. Whereas people my age grew up watching Hogan, and they have a more connect to him than the younger crowd
Mhm.
does, the 20, 30s. They don't have that connection with Hogan. He's just one of those old guys that popped in every once in a while. So they're, if it was because of who he backed in the election, and the reason you don't have that same booing of Taker is because at that age group of that 20, 30 year olds have a much bigger connection with him than they did Hogan. And you,
Plus,
Hogan,
Undertaker didn't get on the mic, and when Hogan did, he was promoting his beer,
right.
so he wasn't putting anybody over like Taker was.
Now, if they really wanted to put him over, they would have had somebody doing something derogatory to the United States or a babyface getting crap beat out of him and Hogan runs down and breaks it up. And if they wanted to do it that way, they could have done it that way and he probably wouldn't have got booed. Um, now, as
After
far as
after hearing the crowd that night, I don't think even that would have worked.
I don't think they'll bring him back out there. He better just like you stay back there.
And he is
At
announced
least at
for
least
Saturday night's main event.
at least in certain areas. You know, don't bring him back into California.
No, especially LA, because that is a deep, deep, deep blue area.
Yeah. You want to put him in, shit, anywhere in the South, Florida. You bring him up in Florida, yeah, he'll get cheers and all.
Florida, he will. Maybe New York.
I would say maybe New York, but
Yeah.
with going back to the whole thing between the Hogan and Taker thing. Hogan is big. Hogan is the reason there that we
He's the
one of the
biggest
reasons
of
we
all.
have what we have now. Taker's on this whole different plateau level, in my opinion, than Hogan is. Back when people forget that Taker has played both heel and babyface, but it doesn't matter which one he's playing. The fans are always excited to see him, regardless of what he does.
Well,
Um,
at that time, he had already reached a level where the fans universally respected him.
right.
For
And
Hogan,
and Hogan too has Taker and Hogan behind the scenes are totally different.
yes.
Whereas Hogan would backstab anybody in a minute to keep his career and keep his money coming in, whereas Taker has agreed to take losses and step back a little bit and
Mhm.
help those younger guys coming up. Um, and that's I think, another reason why he was booed so bad is that all this stuff has been coming out over the past several years of how um, what kind of person Hogan is behind the scenes.
Well,
Um,
even he himself had admitted that everything backstage is a shoot. You know, you only have so many top positions, and if you're the top guy, you do whatever you take to keep it.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah,
but you have to draw a line somewhere as a person.
right.
Um, you have to, am I doing this just because, well, I want to keep on making all the big money. I want to be the big guy for another 5 years, or you know, I'm holding. I only have like 5 years left, and all these guys that are coming up, I can groom them to uh, be better than I am, and I think that's a personality trait. Um, I, don't know,
There's
I have a different perspective on that. Um, I
there's
guess
only
because
a handful of people that I can think of right offhand who beat Hogan cleanly. Ultimate Warrior, which he was supposed to have been
the
the
next
next big
guy,
thing. Yeah, ended up not being the case. Uh, Billy Kidman got a clean win over him, but his career didn't really go anywhere.
I always liked Billy Kidman. I liked the old WCW Ravens Flock. I thought it was uh, a good stable that they had there for a little while.
Yeah, I was never into what they were promoting. Um, all this grunge and goth thing that I was never into that.
I
Um,
wasn't either.
I like the individual personalities.
I like to me, it was more, it wasn't WCW, it wasn't NWO, it was, we're our own little thing that, and we don't conform to either one of you.
I
Kind of a,
yeah.
kind of a Jake the Snake type thing.
Oh, can you imagine if he was still wrestling at that time in his prime
Oh yeah.
with that crew? Jacques Rougeau got a
Well,
clean
right.
with Hogan, and I think that was Hogan's idea because they were in Montreal, I think, and I saw an interview somewhere where he was saying that he came up to Hogan. He said, "Okay, how are we doing this?" And Hogan said something to let him know that he was the one going over, and not Hogan. Uh,
Well, you think about those type things. If you're in like Montreal, you're in Canada. You want your Canada guy to. You want the crowd to really get into it, enjoy your show. You put that hometown guy over because he's going to get the big pop.
and I think at that time Jacques was towards the end of his career too when that happened. So getting something like that, I'm sure it meant a lot to Jacques. But at the end of the day, professional wrestling is not where it's at without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
There is no argument to be made there.
I agree on both those points. Ray's Hogan's attitude and ego won't let him lose, and but
Yeah, I
um,
get that, but still,
between
that '80s boom,
Vince, if Vince could have found somebody else at that point in time, I
he
believe.
wanted Dusty. He wanted Dusty at first, but I don't.
I don't think he would. Dusty just didn't have that. Not he didn't. He had the charisma by all means. I don't think it had that. Um,
You'd be hard pressed to find anybody that could be able to match charisma with him.
oh yeah, I think the athleticism was the difference.
Hogan, he,
Hogan looked like a wrestler.
he looked like a wrestler. He also, to a lesser extent, he just looked like a star.
Mm-hmm.
He had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
In his later years, yes. Hogan also had charisma, just boatloads of it. He knew how to control a crowd. He looked like a star, and he presented himself like a star, and he just had that crossover mainstream appeal.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first professional wrestler to make it on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So, and today that would be a big deal, let alone 40 years ago.
Yeah. I remember George Michael Sports Machine used to come on Sunday nights, and that Hogan and Andre match. Yeah, that's how I found out who won. It was on George Michael Sports Machine. It was like
Yeah,
when you're on a legit sport when wrestling's on a legit sports news program. It's like you've done something.
yeah. And as far as WrestleMania main events, it doesn't get any bigger than Hogan and Andre. Sure, it may not have been the best match, but
No,
when you
but
look
back
at,
but in the day it was huge.
yeah, when you look at the name recognition and the marquee level, you will find no two bigger stars than that. Even when we were talking about Rock and Roman, I said even then that they would have been one step under Hulk and Andre.
To us, it will be. To the new generation, it won't be.
Right.
To me, one of the big matches I remember was Hogan and The Rock when they fought at WrestleMania, and it was like this is huge, this is epic. Yeah.
Hogan did for Rock what Andre did for Hogan. And then Rock did the same thing for John Cena.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why they are planning, so it's said, they are planning
Cena and Cody.
Cena and Cody so that Cena can do the same for Cody.
I can see that coming.
Yeah. We've only been on for an hour, and it seemed like we've talked about a lot of stuff today
Yeah,
already.
I know it. I know it. And part of that was politics for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't stay on long anyway. I've got a little bit of a headache for some reason. Um, but I'm
I
going to go
do
in
too,
here and,
actually.
huh?
I do too, actually. A little bit of a headache.
Yeah. I'm going to go in here if I can't see him, if I can't find the football game on, see what my family's doing.
So, so in any case, it doesn't matter what anybody's feelings for Hogan is. It really doesn't. I get why a lot of people don't like him now. I completely get that. Um, but I'm just looking at it strictly from the wrestling point of view. There is no WWE today without Hulk Hogan. There is no AEW without Hulk Hogan. The national and the global expansion that doesn't happen without. Sure, Vince McMahon probably would have gone national at some point, but probably not anywhere as big as he did because of Hogan.
Everything clicked and came together just right at the right time
Yes,
for for wrestling to get the way it is now.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you just had to eyeball those elements together.
Somebody had actually posted on a post where it was one of those stupid posts where eliminate one, and you had Hogan, Cena, Austin, and Brett. Eliminate one.
Who again? Hogan.
You don't. It was Hogan, Brett, Austin, and Cena.
If it were
And
me, I would remove I would remove Cena if I had those choices.
well,
Cena carried the torch for WWE when Rock and Stone Cold finished up their runs.
one guy had commented on that one, and I think he said it perfect. Hogan caused the explosion for WWF. Austin saved it from oblivion.
Hmm.
Cena protected it, and Roman Reigns continued it. Those four, and I completely agree because between Hogan and Austin, you had Bret Hart, but you also had Shawn Michaels. But neither one of them were able to carry the company in the way that Hogan did.
This is true.
Austin carried it.
And there again, the same thing with Hogan in the '80s, where you got Stone Cold. You had the right guy, the right time. Everything fell into place with the Attitude Era with Stone Cold. Carrying that torch. Now you wouldn't have the heel McMahon if it weren't for the Montreal screw job.
Right. And also, you would not have had Stone Cold Steve Austin without Bret Hart. I was just watching
Right.
an interview today where they had Jim Ross and Jim Cornette, and then Bret Hart came out, and Jim Ross was saying the Attitude Era does not happen. Stone Cold Steve Austin does not happen without Bret Hart.
Well, that all revolves around that Montreal job. I do believe, in my opinion,
Attitude,
with with,
yes, from the screw job.
with
Austin,
McMahon,
no,
yeah,
because Austin already got his rub from Bret in the year prior to that.
with I think McMahon inadvertently hit some gold as he did so many times with the Montreal screw job. It's like everybody hates me now,
Yeah,
and I can make myself not just the announcer or the guy behind the scenes, but I'm put myself out there in front of the camera, and I can get these people to hate me and hate me. Now I need a a villainous baby face to come out and basically put me in my place, and that's where you got Stone Cold. And there again, everything clicked together at the right time. Stone
yeah,
Cold was having issues with his persona and trying to figure out his character development and all that. And his wife was the one that came up with the name
yep.
because he was having problems with the name. It was like, I forgot what it was. You need to eat or something before it gets Stone Cold. It was like,
Something about his coffee.
yeah, yeah, and Stone Cold. That's it. That's your name.
Yeah, you
Stone
better
Cold.
drink your coffee or it's going to be stone cold.
Yeah, Yeah,
Um,
that was it.
and Vince, you know, see what you will about Vince. Again, I am looking at everything strictly from a wrestling perspective. If not for Vince McMahon, nothing of what we have today would be what it is. Absolutely nothing. And Vince is one of those rare people, not just in wrestling, but anywhere, that can legitimately say he had lightning strike twice or more.
Hmm.
Hogan in Austin, John Cena. Um, he kept his product fresh, where AWA folded after how many years? NWA basically was done in ruins until just recently. It seems like that NWA is trying to climb back up.
Hmm.
WCW was the hottest thing in the world, and then all of a sudden it just fell completely apart in record time. It seemed like.
I think a lot of that had to do with the financial part of it. You know, you're paying all this money for all these guys, but then you don't have the tickets to pay their salaries. You know, it's something like the WCW did.
Yeah, TNA started out hot, then it just went down the shitter, and now it's come back up. Um, I don't know about AEW. People are saying that the wrestling is great, but the storylines are not. And I watched a clip this morning of one thing that was happening last night, and seeing how the guys were, I'm thinking this is terrible. And that's where the acclaimed were breaking up. Um, and the way that the one guy was talking and presenting himself, and I'm thinking this is not good. I can see the story, but the way that they're presenting it is just not good.
Yeah,
Um, but yet in the WWE, they had they had the fans by the balls over a bracelet.
yeah.
It's WWE is just so much better on every level than AEW. Um, just no two in my just no two ways around it. But with that, I'm really excited about Saturday night's main event. I am super excited, but yet super bummed about Royal Rumble because it's in my state and I can't go.
I'm hoping, the first 7 minutes main event they had, the one a month ago. I hope this one's better story wise than that one because it seemed that one it was just all nostalgia, which I liked. I liked the nostalgia part of it, but it was like we're bringing in everybody, in this 1 hour or 2 hour show,
Yeah.
and just having all this nostalgia moments and not actually wrestling that much. That and the oh my god, the damn commercials, Jesus Christ, commercial after commercial after commercial, like 20 minutes. Hell, I can go get a bath and a shower and eat something before the next match comes on.
From what I've seen so far, Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels are announced as the legends that are coming back.
JBL's supposed to be there.
I I heard he's going to be at Monday Night Raw. I haven't heard anything about.
Monday Night Raw. I thought maybe that. Yeah, okay, that
Yeah,
is right.
he's going to be at
You are
Monday Night.
correct.
Oh, another thing we should talk about Corey Graves. So, what do you think about what's going on with Corey?
I really hadn't dug that deep into that to him after the conversation we had the other day. So it's kind of this third guy here that y'all are talking about that I really have no idea what you're talking about. I'd have to do some research on him.
I think this is a way of getting Corey back in the ring because he was the color commentator for SmackDown. Then with Michael Cole. Then Michael has moved back to Raw with Pat McAfee, and Joe, whatever his last name, and Wade Barrett are now on SmackDown. And Corey had been moved to NXT. Then Corey makes a post talking about how, you know,
Oh, that guy. Okay.
found chasing your dream and then being told that you can't wrestle anymore because I think it was a concussion, uh, massive concussions. Um, then he was on NXT the first night. Then he made that post, and then he was taken off of NXT for the following week. Um, then he deleted his post, and now nobody knows what's going on.
He
I
was.
think that this is going to be a way of introducing him back into the ring and possibly leading, most likely on WrestleMania, leading to a one-on-one match with Corey Graves versus Pat McAfee. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm reading up on this guy. He's been around for quite a while. He had even fought Val Venus back in the day. So, anyway,
Yeah. I never got to watch Corey wrestle, so I would like to see what he could do. And from what I'm reading, he has been training with Carmella. Now that
Carmelo
could be
Hayes.
he's helping her get back in the ring
Oh,
shape,
right, Carmelo. Okay.
huh?
I was thinking you were talking about Carmelo Hayes.
No, no, his wife Carmella,
Okay.
because they just had a baby a little over a year ago. So so I think this is all a work. I hope it is, because I enjoy him on the commentary, but I'd like to see him wrestle too.
Yeah.
So maybe Corey will be one of the surprise entrants in the Rumble this year because
Could
he
be.
did mention that he was supposed to be in the Rumble last year and somebody took his spot. I don't know if he was just playing around when he said that, but he was cleared over a year ago. And maybe he decided, I just want to take my time and make sure I am ready before I make my in ring return.
Well, that too, and you just had a kid, so you spending that extra time, with family and all that. You know, You got the luxury of when you got enough money in the bank, you ain't got to really work. You don't have to work. You know, I don't know what that is, but that'd be nice.
Well, I really couldn't. I really couldn't say.
But if we win the lottery, we'll have a you know we'll put a bunch of production on the wrestling show.
Yeah. Um, some people also seem to think that Brock Lesnar is going to return at the Rumble. I don't think that will happen, but other people do.
I think Lesnar's done with
Well,
all that lawsuit stuff and all that stuff with McMahon. I think
yeah, that's something that a lot of people forgot about when Vince made that post saying that he had settled with the SEC, Securities Exchange Committee, whatever that is. And a lot of people thought, oh, he's innocent of everything. No, that's just the one thing he took care of. He's still got this Janelle Grant that he got to deal with.
hmm
This SEC has nothing to do with her.
yeah, I think I think he's done. On the show themselves. I don't think he'll pop back in unless they wheel him out in his casket.
Well, Vince has done stranger things than that.
Yeah, and if he does that, you wonder like, is Vince really dead, or is this a work? You know,
Yeah.
you won't show around for another 15 years after his funeral. Then I was like, okay, maybe he's gone.
Uh, yeah, well, who knows on that one.
Yeah.
And then also, I have a strong suspicion that Big E may come back at the Rumble too.
Who, Biggie?
Big E.
Yeah, I can see that, and him go straight after New Day.
Yeah, the way that I understand is that he has been cleared, but he just wants to make sure that he makes the right decision and does what's best for him. And
Well, you've done the wrestling thing for so long, and you're getting older. It takes longer to get over injuries and stuff. And it's just
right, but this could be the reason why they did the New Day angle the way that they did, as something to lead up to him coming back, and then him working with those two guys.
maybe so.
We can speculate on so many different things that'll happen.
This is true.
Yeah.
We got 2 days. What's today? Sunday? No, we got tomorrow. Tomorrow's Raw. Uh, then you got SmackDown. And you got Saturday Night's Main Event. So
Mhm.
it's a full 2 weeks coming up.
Yes. And I'm only going to be able to watch the Rumble live. But I will. Are we going to try to do a show next week?
Let me look at my. That's good news. That's good news. Um, I am. I have a thing at class. We did do one. It would have to be later in the evening
On Sunday?
on Saturday. Sunday, I'm off.
Yeah, because I can't do anything on Saturday.
Okay, Sunday's good for me.
Okay. So then what I will do is I will watch Saturday night's main event on Sunday morning, and
Okay,
then we will talk about that.
okay.
And by
Uh,
then we'll have an idea of more people, hopefully, by then in both Rumbles instead of just the 8 in the men's and the 1 in the women's. I can't believe they've only announced one woman for this year's Rumble. Since,
Some after we get off here, or after we get off the live, um, I got an idea. Maybe we can
okay,
get it where you watch for all.
all right, yeah, well, just stick around, and when we go off, we'll talk.
Okay.
So, you have anything else you want to cover before we sign off?
No, I think we pretty much covered a lot today in an hour and a half. That usually at this point in time we've only covered a couple things, but this show seems to move along pretty quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, well, I will start closing some of my screens here. I had a whole bunch of them open.
oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. But, I had all this stuff open so that, I could have an idea of most of the stuff we're talking about.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Anybody still watching with us in the comment section?
well, we haven't had
Nigel,
comments in a while.
Nigel was there. Ray was there. Tyler was there.
And then Ray, and then I just popped over I need to stop sending to my profile, but I just popped over there. Uh, Joe said hello,
Oh, cool.
but Joe,
Joe and Chris.
mhm, yeah, Chris didn't come on. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So, for those of you who've been watching, thank you for playing along. We will be back on next Sunday, and we will talk about the previous night's Saturday night's main event.
Sounds good. Appreciate y'all tuning in. See y'all next week.
All right, and be safe over the next couple of days. Record colds for us up in the north.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold down here, down south. Not looking
So
forward.
be safe, keep warm, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good night.
See ya.